All right, hello everybody. This is the Kubernetes SIG architecture production readiness subproject meeting for August 26th, 2020. Um, and we don't have a big agenda today. In fact, there's nothing on it right now, but I assume some people might want to bring some things up. I have one thing I want to bring up. Let me see if I can share this tab. Okay, so one thing I wanted to bring up is we do have, I mentioned it last time we actually met, which was almost a month ago now. We have this new kept control query tool. It was a PR then, it has been merged, but it doesn't do PRR queries right now, but it does go out and query open PRs for a given SIG. And I was just adding a PRR filter to it, but it's pretty crude. So I don't know if anybody here had the chance to go and add requirements, but I have heard that we can get some contributors to help out with this. And so, would love to get, we need to nail down the requirements, and there are some requirements written in there already from other groups, but we should get down our requirements. And I was thinking about, like, we have, there's essentially two things that need to be done. One is when a new PR comes in, we need to assign a PRR reviewer. Right now, that's done, that's forced by the validation. I believe the validation requires it now. I think, Wojciech, you added that. And then, we need to, those of us who get assigned need to query and find the keps we're assigned to and the PRs we're assigned to. So this little query tool would help with that, but it's feeble and needs some help. I was going to just jot down some requirements. All in all, it's a really simple little tool anyway, so it's easy to add stuff to. But that's really all I had to talk about. If anybody has other topics, I haven't looked at what new PRR 120 is about to open. I don't know if anybody, I haven't looked at one or if the schedule's been set with regards to enhancements freeze and things like that, but you probably need to get ready to start focusing on some of these reviews.
Actually, I did have one thought. I noticed in the channel yesterday, someone came in and asked us whether we had metrics recommendations. And I took a look at what he was doing, and I can't think of another good metric other than, counting the number of objects with the field defined. Do you guys have any other thoughts on that particular one? If you pop into the channel, you'll be able to see it. It's pretty short.
I had exactly the same example. I mean, probably not the one you were reviewing, but like I was reviewing something like a couple months ago also, and I had exactly the same case. That the only thing that I could come up with was basically kubectl query with like grabbing the field or something along those lines. So, and I was thinking a little bit about that since then, and I didn't came up with anything reasonable, to be honest.
Yeah. And the thing is that, so this one in particular is about a field on a pod spec that sets a fully qualified domain name, a host name field of the kernel. They say kernel. I don't know how that actually happens, but I'll
take it. They set the host name in the pod, right? So
yeah, so I can see some value in knowing like how many people are using this feature, but other than using it to determine like usage, is this popular? I don't know what I would do with it.
It would, so I think there are some probably, so think about the possible consequences, right? The possible consequences could be, I think this feature was added because of issues around SSL handshake maybe, or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. But I would think that the combination of metrics, so knowing, you'd know if this feature wasn't working, if the pods with this feature set had a higher failure rate or a crash loop rate than other pods, maybe, right? If assuming there are a lot of assumptions there, right? That whatever they're running in there is going to crash loop when it can't successfully handshake or something, right? So knowing that a given pod, has it is kind of useful, but I mean that's not really maybe a good metric, right? Like, so yeah, I don't see what else we would do there other than there's not a lot of functionality here, right? Does something very specific and small.
Yeah. And so would we be asking him to make a couple, the idea of having like a different crash loop frequency or something like that, I can see value in there. So would we be asking him to create multiple metrics on this? And where would we draw the line between something like that and cube state metrics or something else that's designed to go from like an API object to the metrics instead of us defining them directly?
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that we want him to define a metric for that. Like that wouldn't be. How would he even do that, right? Like, that seems like something more we would derive from the data. Not we, but one might derive from the data.
Yeah, I think that like recommending to use something like cube state metrics in that case to actually uncover those issues when they exist is probably more reasonable in my opinion than like enforce like creating the number of metrics dedicated for that feature, because we will end up with like hundreds of those, because there will be many features like that, I think.
Yeah, I guess you could say that it's a perfectly acceptable answer to say that these existing metrics can be used to measure this feature. This seems like a perfectly reasonable answer.
Okay. I threw cube state metrics out as a spot where I happen to know that we analyze API objects. I don't actually know if it goes down to the level of pod.
I don't either. Yeah.
I don't think so either, but so we would. I feel like we should be able to come up with something that we want to be like, even if that something is, we don't see a whole lot of value in the count here.
I mean, there's two things, right? There's how do you know that it's in use, and how do you know that it's working, right? So in use, you don't need a metric for that, right? You can query the API server and find pods where it's set, or so whether that's through a cube state metrics or just through direct access to the API server, knowing whether it's working, I think, is a little bit fuzzier. Like, you'll know because, I don't know, like we said, potentially higher crash loop rates or something like that. But I don't know that this one seems like it's either going to work or not, and it's not like a complex runtime type of logic going on here.
Okay. I find all that valid. I think we should get back to this guy. If anyone wants more time to think about it, we can wait and do it tomorrow. But anyway, it popped up. I thought it was a good example.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's good. It's a good discussion. And we might want to say I don't remember what we say, excuse me, exactly in our, look at the KEP, in our KEP template, like as far as that, I'm trying to look at the language of the template and what we ask for there. metrics. We do ask specifically in, we ask in the metadata for metric names, which they might not be able to list. So that might be a little challenging. Sorry, I'm looking through the. Monitoring, okay. Yeah, we just say ideally it should be metrics. Operations against the Cube API may be a last resort. Avoid logs or events.
Okay.
So their answer would be looking in the Cube API. You can see that it's operation that it's set. And then the question is how you. So that's how you can determine if it's in use. So I think we have enough guidance there. It's maybe not. This is, maybe we could clarify that a little bit. But I think it does explicitly say it's okay to do that. It's just a last resort.
Yep, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Well. Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
I have one minor thing, David, to you, because I opened like PRR for the removing self-link cap. So if you will find, it's not super urgent, but if you will find some time like in the next week or two or something to look, it would be great.
I will look at that. We're finally going to do it, huh?
I hope so, yeah. Daniel had some comments, so I would appreciate if you could also weigh in, but yeah.
Yeah.
We deprecated it or we announced deprecation year plus, a little bit more than a year. So yeah, hopefully we will be able to do that soon.
Yep. It's been a long time coming. All right. I have it open and queued. So yeah. Might not be till I don't know, Friday or Monday.
Sure, it's not super urgent, so next week is perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Quick and easy meeting, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. See you.